Manchester United PSV talks about signing Cody Gakpo have opened up officially, meaning that everything might go on as planned by Erik ten Hag because he wants this deal to be done as soon as the January transfer window opens up. Then we are talking a little bit of Gusto. Gusto is a right back playing for French League One, and he is really one of those players that Erik ten Hag is really looking at to come in and do what we call a deputization job for the right back of United, known as Diego Dello at Manchester United. Then lastly, we're going to talk about Ahmad Diallo and how he is really impressing at his loan down in Sunderland and is really having a very fantastic season that everyone is wanting to see to it that it continues like that, to see to it that he can really come out to compete for the United position with Anthony next season. Welcome to Rokani. Sorry, it's not Rokani. It's United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokan David. It's much like button, comment, and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now today, we are having a story coming in from Simon Mulo. You know him, the correspondent of United at He's a chief football writer for the Sunday Mirror. He has told us that Manchester United have opened talks with PSV and Heaven about signing Cody Gakpo. Now, you know the process of every transfer. The team might be willing to sell. Then, if the team is willing to sell, you don't approach it immediately. Your first step is to go all out and talk to the agent of the player, and the player, you agree personal terms, agent fees, and so on and so forth, of which that was agreed way back in the summer. That is the summer of 2022. Now, that means if at all United are really interested in Cody Gakpo, it's really going to be easy because the management of Erik ten Hag is the same management that runs Cody Gakpo. So that is easy as drinking water. I believe that was already done with the conversation they held last summer. Meaning there is nothing much to change about the personal terms they agreed on and so on and so forth. All the nitty-gritties for this deal were done. Now, the remaining point is United to face PSV and discuss the amount of money that PSV want. PSV want close to 50 million euros. That amount of money they want, 50 million euros. And United is willing to come out and pay that amount of money. So the negotiations are on. But PSV has indicated that their big problem is going to be on how the amount of money is going to be paid. They really want a huge chunk of this amount of money to be paid upfront as the guaranteed fee. Then the add-ons will come in slowly, like for 4 or 5 million pounds later. But they want that amount of money, reason being they want to balance their books of accounts because the financial fair play rule might affect their transfers next summer. So they want to go on and really make a football sale and get in football money such that they balance up their books of accounts for their team. The reason as to why they are really so much on pressure, it's because of the amount of money that Ajax really got in, and they are really afraid of what they are going to do to cope up with Ajax. Reason being, Ajax, on selling just 2 players to Manchester United, they earned close to 110 million pounds. That is Anthony at 85 million pounds, then a player known as Lisandro Martinez at 46, nearly 130 million pounds for the 2 players that they sold to Manchester United. When you add on Gravenberch, who went for 20 million pounds to a side called Bayern Munich, that amounts to 150 million pounds. Yet Ajax had just planned to make sales of worth 80 million pounds that season. So they made an excess of 50 million pounds. Obviously, that was brought about by the sale of Anthony, who was supposed to be going for 50 million pounds, and more 30 million pounds were added in, and a player in the names of Lisandro Martinez who was meant to go for like 30 million pounds, and obviously 16 million pounds were added or included into that transfer from Ajax to Manchester United. So it looks like PSV for itself, they never sold any huge player out of their club, and now they are going to sell Cody Gakpo. They wanted Cody Gakpo to move off in the summer to see to it that they match the pace of Ajax, because these are the 2 traditional teams that compete compete against one another season in, season out. Their rivalry is really huge, and their derby is really one of the best in the world. So when you look at PSV, they really want to see to it that they get in money to re-strengthen their squad, to see to it that the likes of Sangare might really leave and get in other players. So that's why they are calling for 50 million euros plus, and they want almost 90% of that amount of money given to them as guaranteed fees. So talks have commenced. Let's wait and see. Out of the Christmas period, I know everything would have gained that and dusted, and this guy would have been a United player, and only announcement will be pending, because I believe the most important set or step of this transfer has been taken by Manchester United. It's all about United going in all out for a player known as Cody Gakpo and talk to PSV. Remember, PSV is being coached by Manchester United ex-player known as Ruud van Nistelrooy. And Ruud van Nistelrooy is really one of the advocates of this player to go to Manchester United, and he has always told him that this is your first step that you have to take before you think of going to teams like Real Madrid. To prove to yourself that you can make it to the next level, to play for teams like Real Madrid, you have to first prove it at Manchester United, to see to it that you are really at that level, to see to it that you convince the rest of the world. Now that is Cody Gakpo for you. So let's wait and see what are going to be the aftercomings after this being mentioned by Moloch. Obviously, the Mirror have been so much accurate concerning the news of Erik ten Hag. Ever since United appointed him, they've been really breaking stories, and it looks like the management company or the agent of Erik ten Hag has a little bit of leniency or leaning to the Mirror, because the Mirror is really so much close, and each and every time I see them put out a story, 100% looks like it's right. And most of the stories concerning Manchester United they put out, the likes of Fabrizio Romano and David Austin have always come out and confirmed them in broad daylight. Now, after Cody Gakpo, let's talk about the right back situation at Manchester United. Two of the positions that Erik ten Hag is dying to really make full at United are the right back and the striker. For the striker, it's Cody Gakpo we've talked about previously, and now we are all about the right back. With Diego Dallo injured, and we don't know when he's going to return, maybe it's not a very bad injury for him, but it might take him like 1 or 2 3 weeks to return. Ten Hag had to play Aaron Wan-Bissaka as the right back in the game of Burnley, but lucky enough, he registered an assist that was really superb, and obviously Eriksen found himself at the back of the net. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka really was in the good books of that game. But that does not convince Erik ten Hag to keep him at the club, and he wants him out. That's why the likes of West Ham, Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers are lining up for the services of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And him, after putting in the shop window, I expect huge teams to come in through and really pay in amount of money. And I believe on Tuesday he might be the same person to play against Nottingham Forest as the right back for Manchester United, as United finds an appropriate club for him to sign for, either on loan with an option to buy, or a team that will come in with money in January to pay out for United. They will consider that first before the loan option, but he is on his way out of the club. Now that means United will be left with one right back, that is Diego Dallo, and the other one left will be on loan, Ethan Laird, who you wouldn't like to go on and disturb his loan, because he's performing very well at Queen's Park Rangers and doing wonders there. So you would love to see him stay there. Then you will only be left with Diego Dallo. Now, we've been told that United have submitted or could submit a bid of Gusto Malo. He plays for Ligue 1 side in France. Now we've been told by David Dadoyu that Manchester United could submit an offer of around 30 million euros for Lyon right back Malo Gusto. Sources indicate United are preparing more and more to move for Gusto. To me, I believe it should be either be Gusto or Frimpong. Gusto is 19 years of age. I think even Frimpong is like 19, 20, because you need a player who is going to come in through and act as a backup for Diego Dallo. You get? And act as an understudy for Diego Dallo. Why? If you bring in a player like Dumfries, that scares Diego Dallo right away. That is a huge competition on Diego Dallo. I'm not saying that Diego Dallo can't outcompete Dumfries, but it's like showing him that you are not needed and your services are not needed here. In a situation where he's in a strong situation that teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and very many others are really eyeing his services because of his recent performance at the World Cup, and obviously his 14 games he played for Manchester United in the Premier League. In the Premier League, he played 13, and the UEFA Europa League, he played 6. In those 20 games has played for United, he has really played very, very well, and the entire world is looking at Diego Dallo. Now, if you happen to bring in a Dumfries, you are going to make it hard for him to renew his contract. That's it all extended because they triggered the additional 1-year extension, and he's here for another 1 more season at United. So if you want him to stay, this is what you have to do. You have to bring in a right back with a profile of Malo Gusto, who is willing to act as an understudy for Diego Dallo, such that Diego Dallo is in the right position to see to it that he competes in that era, and knowing that I'm the first choice right back for Manchester United. And obviously, for what he has gone ahead to go on and do for Erik ten Hag, there is no way Ten Hag will go on through and really say, I'm going to bring in a Dumfries, because there is no need to bring in a Dumfries. I believe Malo Gusto is having a higher sin than of Dumfries. Dumfries is acting at his prime. 26 years of age, that is known very well. And obviously, you would expect him to be hitting his prime already. So, but Gusto is 19 years of age. He can come in at United, act as an understudy for Diego Dallo. He won't demand for a lot of playing time. He will just be involved in certain games that Erik ten Hag believes Diego Dallo needs to rest, because Diego Dallo himself is tired. And I was not surprised when he got that injury. Reason being, he played very many games. Even in the games that were supposed to be rested in the UEFA Europa League, he was never rested. Reason being, we had no backup right back that Erik ten Hag trusted to get the job done. So that's why he always fielded him on the field of play to go on and showcase what he has for the club of Manchester United. So Malo Gusto is one of those that United are willing to offer 30 million euros. I believe 30 million euros are like 25 million pounds. If at all you get a right back at 25 million pounds who is having that profile, I think it's not bad, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka, whom we are getting rid of, we bought him at 50. Meaning that you would count that as a loss, because you know that you wouldn't count that as a loss, because you know that you're going to get like 20-25 million pounds from Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Then you get that amount of money and then do the needful and pay it to Lyon for Malo Gusto services. But United have also indicated that for them to let Aaron Wan-Bissaka go, they have to first get a replacement of Aaron Wan-Bissaka to see to it that they are not seen as desperate purchases for the backup right back at Manchester United. So that's what David Deidow from Mediafoot has come out and reconfirmed us about Gusto. A submission of 30 million euros is really going to be made by Manchester United. And guys, don't look any further. Apart from United really making these deals quick and fast, when you look at 25 million pounds for Gusto and like 45 million pounds for Cody Gakpo, United will be needing north of 70 million pounds to get these deals done. And I believe that amount of money is there. They're going to look for it to see to it that United makes it a point to sign in these players and make them United players at the beginning of the January transfer window, because Ten Hag wants these players to come in as soon as possible to fit into his system at Manchester United. So that's all about Gusto. Then let's conclude our story with Ahmad Diallo, this amazing winger who plays with his left foot. Very much good at what he does. He takes on players, takes them off, and he is really a joy to watch. If at all you know what I'm talking about, he is really a joy to watch. That is a player known as Ahmad Diallo. Remember, he came in from Atalanta at 45 million pounds. Remember, he's one of the best rated young talents from the Italian league by then. That was 2021. Now, he plays for Sunderland in 16 games. He has 5 goals and 1 assist. That is Ahmad Diallo for you. 20 years of age, proving to the entire United coaching staff that I'm really ready to come on and really take on Anthony to see to it that I take over that position. And I believe he has the potential to go on and do that according to how he's tearing up the championship, because every player that tears up the championship has the same equal chances to come out and tear the Premier League, because they are more or less the same, and the Championship is more fast than the Premier League. The physicalities are the same level, so that means you would have passed the test of everything that happens in the Championship, because it mirrors a lot to what happens in the Premier League. Now, we've been told by the manager who manages Ahmad Diallo, Tony Mowbray, that I think it's the best that Ahmad stays, plays with a smile, that is it, hopefully, and continues to score goals. That's what he's really coming in here to let us know about a current situation of Ahmad Diallo. Then he has told us that no one indicated to me that it's something they wanted. Obviously, I think he's talking about Manchester United, because rumors were that United wanted to go on and take back Ahmad Diallo in January, something that I don't agree with right about now, because it's like you are really cutting short the success journey of a player, Ahmad Diallo, who needed this, and a loan went wrong last time, because last season Ahmad Diallo was supposed to be loaned to the Championship, but they took him to Rangers. That's where he was really put, and their first loan maybe would have helped him to convince Erik ten Hag, because he would have been loaned to Feyenoord, who wanted him and got an injury, and they replaced him with the Arsenal winger known as Reiss Nelson. So Ahmad Diallo found himself having not played enough games in Rangers, and he was not enough convincing to Erik ten Hag. So they decided to take him to Sunderland, and obviously he's really doing a very good job. Now, he couldn't let us know that on whether Ahmad could be recalled. He said, I'm sure it's not even something that's been considered. I think Manchester United are happy after this loan last season to Rangers. I think it's a better position for him. Obviously, it's a better position for him, and he's going ahead to really fire in goals. And obviously, I know he's going to be one of the players that United are really going to use very well in the summer to assess him whether he can get into the Erik ten Hag starting 11 or to compete with Antony. And I believe he has all the agility, the skill set to go on and compete with Antony, because for him, he is more decisive than Antony. He's more decisive nowadays. He has a very good skill set of really taking off players. Cutting inside is one of his trademarks, other than Antony, who really wants to go and spread wide, then cuts inside and return. That is really something I hate about Antony. But for Ahmad, he makes diagonal runs when he gets that ball, meaning that he creates a lot of space for the right back than Antony. Antony plays so much in the wide areas, but Ahmad Diallo, every time he receives the ball from the wide area, he cuts inside in what we call the inside tunnels or the half spaces, to see to it that he leaves that space for Ahmad Diallo or the right back to utilize it, especially in the wide area of the pitch. So I believe he has all what it takes to go on and take on Antony. And guys, thank you very much for watching in through. This is Rock and David, United Matters channel. It is. Tell me what you think about United. PSV talks about signing Cody Gakpo commence. Then Ahmad Diallo is going nowhere. He is going to accomplish the entire season at Sunderland. And secondly, what do you think about 30m Mulo, United preparing a bid of 30 million euros to submit it to his club Lyon, to see to it that his services are really given respect and he makes a move to Manchester United. Thank you very much for watching in through. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let's see close to 200 likes on this video, and obviously I hand you over to the Almighty to protect you abundantly. Merry Christmas to you all, because it's Christmas and Jesus was born today. I'm out.